So congratulations out there to those of you whose team won. Congratulations out there to everybody, or condolences to those of you that your team didn't win, and high five to everybody that hates Cam Newton anyway. So we'll I fall into that category. So we'll go ahead and get started this week. Hope you guys had a wonderful time off. I know everybody was still scrimming for the most part, so it wasn't like a real long time off, but maybe enjoyed a little bit of weekends anyway. So we'll fire up the old scoreboard here, and we'll get our rundown of new teams. So we have no movement in the 11th place spot. Last week that was occupied by the King Cobras, and it is still occupied by them this week. So their status is unchanged. Also, the number 10 team is also unchanged from last week, with that being the Huskies. It will be interesting to watch, and I haven't done a score like a schedule analysis on them yet to see what all they've got left, but they did pick up Matt Asadar, so he is definitely a boost to their receiving core. And it'll be interesting to see. I know we scrimmed them last week, so he's already getting involved with them. So it'll be interesting to see, if they have very much upward mobility from that 11 spot, but I'm sorry, from that 10 spot. And then we do have a new number 9 this week, and that would be the UFL Patriots, dropping one spot last week from the number 8 spot. So that means we've got some movement, and we'll have to see how the rest of that shakes out. But there is at least a new number 9 this week. So I will pass that off, and we'll talk about who's got that the number 8 through 5 spots.
All right. At number 8, we have the Cowboys, dropping down one from last week. Last week number 7. This week number 8. At number 7, moving up to the Broncos. I gave them a little more love this week than I have been all season. It does. I like to see them doing well, but it doesn't, change what I think it's going to end out. But give them out at number 7. At number 6, we have the Bulldogs holding steady at number 6. And at number 5, I've got to find it here. The Warriors. Got the Warriors number 5.
All right, so coming in running out top 4, we have the Raiders at 4. As the last week, we have Mustangs staying at 3, Titans 2, and the Seahawks at 1.
A little bit of movement this week.
A little bit.
A little bit.
There's still really kind of a playoff race between the Broncos and the Patriots. I think that's the only thing that's got anything of interest in the bottom end for me. I know, like I said, the Huskies added Matt Asadar. I figured a little too late. Their game this weekend is against the Titans. But the Broncos, they can still come up and compete for a little something. But really, that's about all I take out of last week. Not a whole lot. Everything I expected fell into place. No, I got to take that back. I did expect the Bulldogs to give us more game. My buddy Rhino sitting right here. I don't want to be negative, but I really expected the Bulldogs to come in there and give us a little bit better game with Galen and Durgan. Even though I don't think Galen played, but Durgan and Caden, I thought they were really moving up. But I expected a little bit better game out of that.
Yeah, I think for the most part we've kind of settled in on, the top few group teams, the bottom few group. That middle is really where the action is, and I hate the game wasn't able to be streamed, but this matchup weekend before last that had the Patriots and the Broncos. It was like it was everything that we've said we've wanted from so many games this season that really, quite honestly, we haven't seen like we thought we would. But it was like a one-score game. It was right down to the fourth quarter. It really was two teams that truly had a lot on the line as far as their playoff hopes go. And I think if you look at the breakdown of the game, if you look at the different numbers, and unfortunately you'll just have to talk to the people that were there, it was really a genuinely exciting game. And And so for those that were there, they were in for a real treat. And I think that group particularly, and in that group, I think is where you're going to see the most action in the coming weeks, because those are the teams that it's do or die. Like right now, I don't expect them to. The Seahawks could lose out. They're still in the playoffs. Titans could lose out. Still in the playoffs. Warriors could lose out. Still in the playoffs. Mustangs could lose out. I doubt we drop out of the playoffs. The Raiders could lose out. Not really losing a playoff spot. So there's only maybe one or two that are genuinely up at play. And that's one of them that two teams were directly affected of, and I think you saw that out of them. Early in the season, the Broncos were my team that I just jumped right out and said, watch, and boy did they prove me wrong that first few weeks. Now part of it was scheduling, but they looked completely in disarray. The whole 2 QB thing was not working for them like everybody thought that it would. It really would have been easy to just, throw in the towel and gave up on the season. But I'm telling you, that group of guys and girls have gotten after it as much as anybody has this season. And I think you're seeing a product of it. Now, whether or not they can hold up there, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't done a schedule analysis on these groups to see exactly what they're facing left. But I can tell you this, and I promise you, if you talk to Baldev, it's all up from here as far as what he believes. He honestly believes. He called the shot against the Patriots privately with me a week or so before the game. He felt like they should win that game, and he laid out the rest of their schedule for me. I don't remember all of it because it's been a couple weeks, but that's a guy that honestly believes his team's going to be there at the end. And they're playing like it. They're doing what you need to do for a playoff run, and that is playing their best football right now. And so that's all you can ask for a team.
They've got the Warriors, the Patriots left. They've got a rescheduled game. I'm not sure which game it is. Al Panuca. Is that rescheduled game with y'all, Rhino? Or do you know?
Yeah,
Al
the reschedule
commentated that game. And I didn't get to see it. It wasn't streamed. But I was working off the words of Al Panuca when I moved him up to 7. And he said the same thing you did. He said they played like they really dominated the game. He said the Broncos had a couple bad breaks, a couple bad calls. He said, but they played like they really had the game in control. He said it was a nice, close game, but he says as far as he was concerned, Broncos had it under control from the snap to the whistle. So that's why I moved them up to 7. And they still have the shot at the playoffs. And surprise, your reward is you get to play the Seahawks the first game of the playoffs.
Right. But though, I mean, seriously,
you can say you made it.
Right, but the start that they had, though, I mean, that is a reward. It is the playoffs, and you never know what's happened. I mean, you could poll 100 people, and I guarantee you, unless you polled in Denver, 90 of them had the outcome of the Super Bowl completely different than what it is. I'll raise my hand, and I was the first one to tell you. Panthers are going to beat the living crap out of them, and it did not happen that way. So, I mean, again, am I calling that upset? No. Would I bet on that upset? Absolutely not. Don't get me wrong.
It could happen. Yeah.
But, I mean, they've played twice, and I'll say this, for as talented a team as they are, even at their worst, they haven't shut the Broncos out yet.
No,
they
put 7 on the Broncos.
So,
the Broncos put 7 on them.
The first, I think they put 14 the second time.
And
I
we only
think.
put 3 on them.
That's what I'm saying. These guys were playing football, and honestly, I know that team, organization, owner, they've got their fair share of criticisms, but I'm telling you, as far as pure football, they are a breath of fresh air. They love the game. They go for they work to get better.
They show up and play.
Right, and I mean, I like them. I do. I really like them a lot, and I expect the Warriors to be in for a surprise. And I'll say this: I covered a Warriors game a couple weeks ago. They better hope Gucci's on time, because if Gucci ain't, the Broncos will whip them. I mean, I'll just tell you that right now. The Warriors are two completely different teams, with or without Gucci at QB. They better hope Gucci's there for that one, or they're going to be, they're going to be riding that Bronco a little bit harder than they wanted to.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting game.
I mean, pretty much and the Broncos, like I said, it is refreshing to see them, even as long as the season has been for them. It's been a road of ups and downs, but they're still coming out week in and week out playing, fighting, showing that they're here to play no matter who the team is they're going against. Whether they win, lose, they're still going to give it everything they got. And again, the two system wasn't working for them. Unfortunately, not sure what happened with Cash. I think his RL got busy. But Ball Dev is kind of
My son Mike
taking
Spann
back over
was the
and
first American to die
leading
in
them where
Afghanistan.
they need to head. So it'll be good to see how the rest of the season goes for them. Their last game of the season is with us, our reschedule.
Well, I'll tell you
I
this:
believe.
you cannot overlook that team the way that people were in the early part of the season. That again, looking out from right here, I'll say you guys better bring your A game or y'all gonna be on upset alert. That team is playing with some energy right now. As far as the others, Cowboys, to me they're a mystery as far as how they're going to go. They picked up Purdy right there at the deadline, and I mean that would have been an addition for any team in the league. She is an outstanding, amazing player. Wasn't enough of a difference, in this one. Again, you're talking about a player that signed just a few days before, the deadline, a few days before the game. So does she fully understand their system and their breakdowns? Probably not. She's probably not fully plugged in, so they probably haven't gotten, her full potential. But again, going forward, they're going to be a team, fighting for that playoff spot that did get a huge signing, right there at the end. So, their remaining schedule, again, I don't have it right in front of me, but they're a team. If there are 3 games left, they probably could use 2 wins. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that adversity as well for the rest of the season.
Well, with the Cowboys, they pretty much have the 3rd seed locked up. They pretty much the only real fight in that one on that division is the 4th spot. Cowboys pretty much have the 3rd seed locked up. They're playing their game plan needs to be right now to beat the Warriors, because that's going to be their playoff. They're going to play the 2 seed, which right now, from what I'm seeing, would be the Warriors unless the Seahawks stumble along the way. So I would say last week I know they didn't have Horns, and that's kind of the heartbeat of that team. I know she's not a quarterback or she's not the star wide receiver, but Horns is kind of the heartbeat of that team. And they didn't have her last week. So that kind of maybe, let the team speak, maybe get out of balance or something. And I don't know, I wasn't in it. I'm just saying, missing Horns is a big deal. But they pretty much got the 3rd seed, so I think they should be playing to get a little better every week, win or lose, get a little better, and playing to smack those Warriors around in the playoffs.
Easier said than done.
Because
So
who they
is-
have left? They have the Patriots.
All right, well that'll
the
be a win,
Seahawks. Then they got the Seahawks.
and that will be a fun game because I don't think those 2 teams like each other very much. So that'll
Let's see.
that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, we're on a bye this week.
Yeah, we don't have a full schedule this week. There's a Valentine's this week, so Sunday we
Yep.
have no games. So a couple of these teams, I think it was mixed up with when we played Thanksgiving. Some teams played Thanksgiving, some teams didn't. Some teams are gonna play Valentine's, some teams aren't. But yeah, we Titans. We got a nice little schedule to finish out. We got the Huskies. I'm sorry, Huskies, Cherry, Matt. It is what it is. But then after that, we've got the Raiders and the Mustangs back to back. Conference games that could affect seeding in the playoffs one way or the other. Those final 2 games for the Titans are what I'm looking forward to.
We've got we're off this week. Then we come back against the Mustangs on the 21st. Then we have the Huskies and then the Broncos.
Yep,
And
and
we end up.
I know we've got the Raiders, and then after that, I know one of the last 2 we've got the Titans. The third one, I couldn't even tell you. I Haven't
This
checked it
week.
yet.
Got
This week, to be honest with you, there's actually only 3 games this week. I'm gonna go out on the limb and predict the Broncos to beat the Bucks on the Friday night game.
Yep.
I'll even throw you a
56-0.
56-0. Yeah, it's gonna happen. Then after that, the Huskies and Titans. Then the Seahawks and the Patriots. Then what could be a good game on Monday night is the Raiders and Mustangs. That could be a seeding type of race right there. That could be who's second,
Very
who's
well could
third.
be.
Who's making a run at the number 1 seed in our division. Yeah, that could be something right there.
So
Yeah, it should be a good one. But yeah,
Yeah.
of the 3, really, I mean, I think it's about the only one that I would say is in serious doubt. As far as like, if you had to just, bet your life savings on an outcome of a game, that would be the last one I would want to pick this weekend. The others, I probably would be a lot more comfortable in picking. But
Yeah, just sort of it is what it is kind
I'm
of
gonna
thing.
put all my chips on the Friday game.
On the Broncos.
Yep. That way
All
I know
in.
for sure I'm coming back with some money.
right, all in.
What's your question,
Yeah.
Ricky? Ricky's got a question.
You'll have to repeat it to me unless if he's typing it. I can't read vocal either.
He hasn't typed it yet. He just asked if there was a time for it, and I said I just asked him what it was.
Absolutely. Let's fire away.
While he's looking at that, I'm gonna go over our conference standings real quick. Sank.
Sure thing.
Titans are 7-0 in our conference. Mustangs are 6-1. So ending up that final game could possibly be for a seeding position. Raiders are 5-2. Bulldogs are 3-5 in our division.
Did he fire that question out there yet?
Yep, he says, just curious how the ranking system works. How is two teams who both get beat by one managed to slip in a higher ranked position?
Because we don't account for the entire season. We really look at the last couple weeks, and I know I dropped the Warriors out of the number 3 spot when it was a true struggle against the Patriots for 3.5 quarters or whatever it ended up being. That's me personally.
And really, I'm just an asshole if I think you look like shit.
Right. I mean,
I don't
it's
care. I don't care who you.
Pretty much.
yeah. It really is a very brief snapshot. Like it
Yeah.
does. It doesn't account for the entire season. It really is like, what have you done for me lately type stuff.
Yeah.
And the last few weeks, I don't feel like the Warriors have played the best ball that they have all season. And I said it before too. I mean, like you've seen like with the Seahawks, you take Krevin out of that number 1 spot, you put in Jazzy, and it's like they lose nothing. The Titans, you remove Troy, you throw in Ray or one of their other QBs, and they just keep right along plugging. I mean, again, you're asking, you remove Gucci from your quarterback, and you're not a top 3 team. You're just not. You don't have another one on your roster, period. And y'all have had to play a little bit the last few weeks without Gucci in some situations. And, I mean, that's not a knock. That's just the way that the games have went. And so that dropped y'all from the number 3 to the number 5 spot with me. Couple solid performances. I mean, 3 and 4 Raiders and Mustangs. I mean, we're fixing to play, so one of those teams is fixing to take an L. So that's going to move y'all up at least 1 spot. So I mean, you guys will climb back up there. But ultimately, this is just an opinion poll. It means absolutely nothing to your rankings or standings. It's just for food for conversation's sake. So.
And I've said it several times. We are moving people here and there, but it doesn't affect how I think the season is going to end. I can almost tell you how I think the season is going to end, who's going to be the 1 through 4 seeds. It doesn't change. I can move 5 and 6. I can move 3 and 4. I can move 1 and 2. It's not going to affect how I think the season is going to end. This is just how I think you're playing. And, just maybe what kind of mood I'm in that day.
Right.
We're
a
which
fickle.
one of you give us enough shit about where
Right.
you rank at.
We're a
Yeah.
fickle
I'm just
bunch.
kidding.
Yeah. Well, we said at week 1, it's opinionated.
Yep.
And I believe you're right though with the Warriors. You lose nothing between Cravon and Jazzy. I don't think you lose anything between them.
You don't lose anything with the Titans trio of quarterbacks.
Right.
Well,
Um,
all our backups are on injured reserve right now.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm the backup.
Oh
Right.
shit, we're in
Yeah.
trouble then.
Back way up then. That's all I can tell you. Back way up.
I'm the ninth string quarterback.
Right. Now look, I see Ricky to further elaborate on your question. If Rayon ever quarterbacks for the Titans, I'm ranking him number 10. Period.
No,
there's no
I'm going
there's no
11.
2-place drop. There's only 10. They're straight back to 10.
No, it's funny, and I don't mean to come off as an asshole or anything, but in the Bulldogs game, we had been commenting to Alpanuka all week. If we get the lead, we're going to put you in at quarterback. We got the lead on the Bulldogs. Troy makes the call. Al, get on the quarterback ball. Al says, nope, I haven't fucked up all game, and I'm not starting now. Stay where I'm at.
Yeah, Al's one. He if he's not fucking up, nope, he's not gonna take a chance of fucking up. Now,
Al
if he's
and
fucked
Rhino
up a
go
couple
back
times,
a good ways.
oh
So
yeah,
that's why we just, said, if we get a chance, Al, we're going to put you in there. And he said, nah, I've had a good game. I haven't gave up no INTs. I haven't dropped no passes. I'm good. So
Alan, you go
That
back
is good
to season 2 of the SFL.
The lawnmower season.
Yep, and
That's a story for everybody else another day.
oh god, that and Bruja, Jesus.
But it just, like I said, if you take out Gucci, they do lose a step. I'm not gonna say it's like going, no backup at all. Fontes is decent as a backup.
Now, who are you talking about?
Sir
you
Fontes
talking
for the
about?
Warriors.
No,
He's
no,
not
no,
on the
not
Warriors.
Fontes. Zane's
No,
the
Raiders.
backup of the
Fontes is a
Warriors.
Raider. Never
Zane.
mind.
Yeah.
I am completely out of it. Yeah, I don't know who
he's
the backup of the
yeah,
Warriors is.
he's
It's
a Raider.
Zany.
He's a Raider this
Zany,
week.
okay.
Zany's a Raider. Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking Snipe and Fontes.
Yeah. Right.
To me,
Well,
there's a
I
big
mean-
difference there between Snipe and Fontes. Not as big as Gucci and Zany, but
There.
the
Yeah.
Raiders need Snipe a lot too.
My thing is with the QB on the Warriors. I've never played with Gucci. I've always played against him, and I know how he is. I have played with Zany, and Zany gets rattled. If things don't go exactly how he wants it, he gets rattled. And I'm not going to say it's easy to rattle him, but a few things happen, and he can get rattled. I don't see that from Gucci. That's why I agree there is a big difference between the two of them quarterbacking for the Warriors. Just by personal experience playing time with Zany. Zany, when everything's going good and great, he's a damn good quarterback. But when things start rattling him, he gets rattled and easy to fall apart.
See, I've always said that was Fru Diesel's biggest asset. You could not rattle Fru Diesel.
No.
You could sack him 4 times in a row, and he gets up laughing. And you could hear him. He was just having so much fun with it. And that was always the thing about Fru. You couldn't rattle him. He don't care. Sack him. He literally told me sometimes he would prefer to take a sack so he could score a 50-yard touchdown instead of a 10-yard touchdown.
Makes it more challenging
Yeah.
for him. He used to
Yeah.
tell me.
Yeah, he told us he come and scrimmed with the Titans one time on our team, and we were on the 10-yard line, and he said, "Take a sack, go back to the 25, makes it easier to pass." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever, dude." But anybody who knows Fru knows he didn't get rattled. He had a good time every time he played.
No, he didn't. Fru's a special one. He's a lot of fun to play with for sure.
I mean, take it back to the SFL. I'm not gonna lie, and Al will even back me up when I say this. We did not get the Buccaneers back then. Did not get beat by the Redskins. We got our asses kicked by Frew. Frew alone.
Yeah, Frew was something else. I hope he does decide to come back and play a little bit more one day. But Frew was one of those people, and I'm gonna put this straight out there. When the Bucks did do what they done, and Frew posted his message that said, "It's just not fun for me anymore." I truly believed him when he said it's not fun for him, because if he's having fun, he would have played.
Yep.
And so that was one Buccaneer comment that I took to heart. When Frew says I'm not having any fun, something's. But anyway, back to next week. Like I said, we didn't really see a whole lot. 3 games next week. No Friday game, 2 Saturday games, no Sunday game, and a Monday game. And it looks like the Monday game's going to be the game to watch.
Yep. Part of me hopes it is, and part of me hopes that it ain't.
Well, I'm gonna put it out there. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Mustangs have got this one by, I'd say, 7. I don't see either team blowing the other one out, but I could see the Mustangs taking this by 7, just because that number 1 seed is still within reach. They're not locked into that number 2. That number 1 is still in reach for the Mustangs. Finish out the season, beat the Titans, then it starts coming down to points because we split the head-to-heads.
Pay 420.
So the number 1 seed is still there for the Mustangs, and I see that being maybe a little motivation to get them through this game. If it's not, maybe I just gave them their motivation and didn't even think about it. Maybe I just told them some things they didn't even realize. But yeah, the number 1 seed is not out of reach for the Mustangs.
Thing is, I mean, on the outside, you got to watch out for Veronica. I'm not even gonna lie. He is a pain in the ass to block.
Yeah.
Even being a receiver trying to block her, it's a pain in the ass. And the same thing with Staples. I hate being the receiver on their side to block them. Like, would y'all just go normal? So, I mean, Raiders, pay attention to them because they're going to crash in. And when they do, life's not going to get much time, or Cervantes.
No, it definitely doesn't. When the rush is on between the two, between Veronica and the other guys and gals that we send in there, then we feel like we can be real effective. But if we have trouble, getting in the backfield, then we tend to have a more rough time. But we're working on it. We definitely got a game plan. I don't want to tip my hat off or anything to the coming game, but we definitely have it circled, and we know what's at stake. So it should be a good time.
Well, y'all finished the season up pretty good too. Y'all got Raiders, Titans. I mean, our league is coming down with some good games to finish the season between the Raiders, Mustangs, Titans. Could affect some of that seeding, so it's going to be worth watching. That's for sure.
Yep.
Well, it's going to be a good little race to the end on our side.
Yeah, it definitely should be fun and interesting to watch. And like I said, a lot of these teams that are ranked where they are now, that might change, at a moment's notice with some of these games. I mean, there's only one that we've talked about that we really wouldn't consider the outcome an upset of. So it could be interesting. And like I said, you'll definitely see some movements in the power rankings. Maybe not so much the standings this late in the season, as one game's not really going to send a whole lot of ripples to save or ruin a season. But in the power rankings, it sure would. So definitely some good football to watch.
Yeah, it's just us talking, rattling off. I mean, it just week to week for us, but it doesn't affect how we think the season will end up. There's really only one race right now that really truly affects anything, and it's Broncos Patriots. Everything else is just teams jockeying for position in the playoff.
Yep.
I don't think the Huskies or Cobras can come up and knock the Bulldogs out of their playoff spot. I think the Bulldogs are locked into their 4th seed. I don't think they can go any higher. But the 1 and 2 in our division, that could flip-flop depending on how games turn out. And the 2 and 3 could flip-flop depending on how games turn out. I don't think the Raiders have enough juice to come up to number 1, but they do have enough to come up to number 2. But what happens with 2 and 3 flip-flopping? Nothing. You change
Right.
the home team in the playoffs.
Right. That's really
2
you
and
get.
3 are still playing each other.
Yeah, it's a different call for the coin flip. That's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. Different colored uniform. So really, the only real race to me right now is Broncos Patriots. That's the only one that is really trying to do something. And one we should keep our eye on.
Absolutely. All right. Well, if we don't have any other questions or comments or feedback or statements from
Hold
anybody.
on. We got a question.
Oh, all right. Cool.
Brandon says, so y'all think the Huskies can't beat the Broncos?
Yep.
Can't and won't are two different things, but no, I don't think they will.
Yeah. The addition of Matt is great, but it's a little too late. It's just a little too late in the season, I believe.
Here's my
Prove us wrong. That's the same thing we told the Broncos. Prove us wrong. Go out there and beat them.
Right.
Then come back in here and
Yep.
say, "Hey, I told you so." And I'll gladly say, "Yes, sir, you did."
Here's my take on that game. The thing about the Huskies is, this is not a jab at Jared, because Jared is doing everything he can. But Jared can't do the whole game himself, especially when he's running 30 and 40 yards back trying to make a pass and ends up losing 30 yards a play. One 30-yard play in one series, you're asking for a miracle to get a first down. He's got to have some help somewhere. Adding Matt is going to help, yes. But teams are going to key on Matt. Teams are going to key. They know if they push Jared back far enough, just by roughing the games that I've watched, he needs help from his receivers, comeback routes, something. In your team speak or whatever y'all they need to say, "Hey, I'm open," so he's got somewhere to look at to throw, because constantly he's dropping so far back just to gain, and if he does get a pass off and it's completed, it's a 5 or 6 yard gain.
Yeah, throws 40 yards to get 5.
Right. So you can't do that. And I'll be honest with you, the Broncos are going to bring as many people as they think they need to put Jared back 30 or 40 yards. If that means they bring 4, they'll bring 4. If they need to bring 5, they'll bring 5. So,
in my opinion, Jarrett's a better wide receiver. Jarrett catches everything Jeloni puts up to him. In my opinion, Jarrett's a great wide receiver, but that's just strictly opinion.
Yeah, I haven't really seen him receive enough to know. So I can't really say I have a very strong opinion of that one way or the other.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
I thought
Jared,
as far
Jared
back
is
as the
a good one,
Ravens,
yeah.
he was a good wide receiver. When he was an old DIFL Silver Raven, I thought Jarrett was a good wide receiver because I would see him at pickup games. And I thought then Jarrett was a better wide receiver than he was a quarterback. But, when you don't, your choices are Jarrett and Jeloni. Jarrett's done it. He's been there. He knows the pressure. So, I don't know. I just think the Huskies, I think it's a little bit too late to try to do things. Maybe Matt will help them with their blocking schemes and things like that, but I just honestly feel it's a little too late.
Yep. Well, we'll see how it all plays out. Did we have anything else, or We started a little
No.
bit closer to on time this week, so we're ending a little bit earlier than we normally do.
Yeah, but still about on our 45-minute run
yeah,
here. So
yeah, we're pretty close to
Yeah.
that.
want to tell everybody happy Mardi Gras.
Yep,
Happy Fat
Bon
Tuesday.
temps roulette.
absolutely. All right, guys. Well, we'll head to our respective sims and get loosened up for scrims. So it has been fun this week. Be sure to tune in next week, same time, same place. We'll be here with the Blueberry Power Rankings show, and it's been a lot of fun talking to you this week. And I'll let the others say their goodbyes, but that's it for me.
Everybody
Y'all
get to
later.
church tomorrow. It's Ash Wednesday. Everybody in here knows they need forgiving for something. Get to mass tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna need more than just one.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
See y'all later.